Yep, we in the building.
40 on the waist extendo. Gotta kick back like Rambo. Stay off the chains.
Hey.
Since 13, I've been riding around.
I want us to get into the room. We here.
Why you hating on me for?
No doubt. Special Saturday difference. Certain thing going on, and once again, you should be getting notifications. There's a special Saturday edition going on right now. Rock Logic's in the building, Robin's in the building, and my main man, Gary Fax, is in the building, and we here, y'all. So we checking it out. I'm watching y'all populate the room. I know the time is off, but it's been a while. We haven't been on. So I felt like doing a Saturday show. Gotta do some transformations in the studio. Make sure we good. I'm like a fantasy to most of y'all characters and acts. Are you a thug now? Could you say my name in your rap? I don't respect that. Everything's coming together. Once again, we are here in the building. Rock Logic's in the house. Gary's in the house. Robbie's in the house, and we're getting it done. We say, and then you want to say, come on, come on. Once again, welcome to the Real Discussion Saturday edition. Just trying something different. You know what I'm saying? As we're doing. Gary's looking at his phone and he's going, what's wrong? Trying to figure it out. Why is it taking so long for the internet to adapt to the situation? Hey, it's all about the sensation of the podcast and the way that we do it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what's up, Casey? I see you in the house. We are here. We're going to let it go for today. Word up, because we got a lot of questions. Definitely got a lot of questions. If you're in the chat room, just say hello. Just let me know. Say what's up. Let me know you're here. Hey, big shout out to One Stop Shop Hip Hop in the house. Word up. That's dope. We got One Stop Shop Hip Hop in the house. And we moving. And it's a Saturday afternoon thing. I think I should probably record it too. Because then we can play it on Friday, Saturday. You know what we say? We say, hey. Got a lot of stuff going on. Word up. Big shout out to Hip Hop Boulevard. Big shout out to Hip Hop Boulevard, my man Al Pizarro. Big shout out to Maria Davis. Big shout out to One Nitra. Once again, it's the Real Discussion. And Casey says, what's up, Gary? What's up, Robin and all? Y'all know what I'm saying.
1520 Cedric, the birthplace of hip hop was selected. The birth of hip hop was so electric, it shocked everybody like
50 years of hip hop, y'all.
Was injected, breakdancing graffiti was injected. Blocks and neighborhoods got infected and built this culture and style perfected. We crossed the line, mixed the race. Being scared was replaced. Souls and crews made the moves, became street leaders, hip hop bleeders. We did it our way, flooded the air with every street, wall and train. We made it our late, we made our place through the grime and grace with the neighborhoods.
Word up.
With the big face. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop boulevard. 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 On the Capitol B.
Word up. Once again, it's the Real Discussion, and we are back because we've been away for a while. That's what's been going on. Let me put the cameras on, everybody. Let me get that straight. And booyah, and we are in the house. We are in the house. What's up, everybody? Long time. Yeah, once again, it's the Real Discussion with Rock Logic, Gary Fax, and Robin. Big shout out to Rocky D. Big shout out to my man Big Jeff and everybody else. It's been a long time, and I know you've been like, yo, where's the show? We ain't been on many, many Fridays. But here at the office, we were going through a little bit of a transformation. We were redoing a lot of stuff that was happening, that stuff that you guys don't actually see in the other rooms that we have here. So with that, there was major construction going on and stuff like that. So for a while, we weren't here, because those things are taking place. But now that all the major construction's done in the office, and if you don't understand, our office has about 4 or 5 rooms. So the other 4 rooms, minus this room, are all something entirely different now. So that's what's been going on. Other than that, we've been working. Big shout out to my man Peso 131. Yeah, so man, we've been getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Boardwalk Global Media was still in effect, still doing stuff. Might be moving out of the studio altogether, but we'll figure that out over the next couple of months and see what we're going to do and get a new place where, you know, we can kind of do stuff that's maybe build a whole set, make it really nice, you know what I'm saying, and all that. Robbie, what's going on with you?
Oh, nothing. Hey, guys. Happy to be back. You know, we've been gone for a minute, but we're here on a special Saturday, you know, to entertain you and talk about some topics. I've been pretty good. You know, getting ready to go back to school. You know, you never can be too old.
Right.
Just as a career move. So, you know, looking forward to that. But otherwise, everything is copacetic.
All right, that's dope. Gary Fax is in the house, and I know y'all haven't seen Gary in a while.
Yo.
Big shout out to Gary Fax. Gary Fax, man. First of all, Gary's been working. If y'all don't know, let me let you know something, all right? Just in case, you know, give me a mic check, Gary.
Testing 1,
There
2.
you go.
Testing.
So just in case y'all don't believe that my man Gary Fax was
Gary's
working.
here. He's
Can you hear
real.
yourself now, Gary?
I can't hear.
All right, hold on. Can you hear yourself now?
No.
Can you hear yourself now?
There we go.
There you
That's
go.
it.
That's it.
There
I
we
just
go.
had to find. He's on number 4.
Gary is not a jukebox.
He is not a jukebox. So yeah, man, Gary, what you been doing, man? You've been doing all these other podcasts and stuff on our little.
Talk about that.
Let's talk about what's been going on
You've
with
been
you.
cheating on us.
A very good friend of mine, Grace Papia down in Georgia, she has a Monday night show called Embrace the Grace. And,
Right.
We're bringing her over to the Boardwalk Global Media family.
Okay.
She has a great show. Actually, Robin was on
I was.
2 weeks
Oh
ago.
wait,
think I
Robin,
was.
you was on the show too.
Yeah,
I
did-
was.
she did
They got
awesome.
me.
Oh, all y'all been cheating on me since I've been on furlough.
She had a great topic.
Y'all thought I was falling off or something?
No, man. No, she has good topics.
Yeah, she,
Okay.
So I just chimed in.
her show comes on every Mondays from 8 to 10, and she has some great topics. She has the hard conversations that a lot of people don't want to have.
Right.
And she advocates for black men, right?
Interesting.
Like, she really advocates for black men.
That's okay.
And she, you know, she gets some people that hate on her, but she's one of those women, she doesn't hold her tongue. Like, she don't bite her tongue.
Right.
And she's all about having the respectful conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what I do Mondays. But
Okay.
one of the bigger things happening is Baba T.
Oh, what's happening
what's
with Baba
going
T?
on?
So
Straight out of Australia. Big shout out to Baba T.
Big shout out to Baba T. Much love.
about 2 weeks ago, he dropped his new single called Wish List, which has been getting about 1,500 streams a day.
Nice.
He's just recently been in a couple of blogs.
Okay.
Think about five of them, but
Nice.
But the major score was Billboard magazine.
Nice.
Oh, hey.
So
All right.
last week Thursday, he had a nice write up in Billboard magazine.
That is beautiful.
And for people that don't understand Billboard magazine is like the Wall Street Journal of the music and entertainment industry.
Right.
That's what, all the executives and big people, that's what they read.
Wow.
So that was a major score.
I love that. Good
Nice.
for
Big
Baba
shout out to
T.
Baba
Proud
T,
of Baba
man.
T.
Word up. So, big shout out to my man Jamie Foxx. From what I understand, he's having some health problems.
Yes.
That he's having some issues. Did he have a stroke or something, or what happened
Well,
with Jamie?
I mean, they're not reporting it as a stroke. I was on my Twitter page and someone commented, I don't know who this person was, but they alluded to a stroke, which is quite unfortunate because Jamie Foxx is a multi-talented, like he's a triple threat. I
Right,
believe,
right.
right. He makes music, he makes movies.
Right.
And I don't know.
And he's a generally healthy guy.
He is. He
From what I
is.
understand. So I was a little surprised by
well,
that.
we don't know really behind the
Right,
scenes how
personally.
people, what people are going through. But you know what? I hope and pray that he comes through. There's a couple movies that I think they had to shut down a production of a movie
Okay.
because of his health problem. And I'd
it's
like to
serious.
discuss some of my favorite movies of Jamie Foxx, but we can do that later.
Right. So now, so the topic on the board today, as you know, we'll normally do relationships, is should a man move in with a woman, right? If a woman has her own place, has her own apartment, should the woman, if the relationship elevates to the part where they're like, okay, you know what, let's move in together, and the man should, wants to live with the woman, is that a good idea to move into someone else's apartment? How do you feel about this? I'm going to you, Gary, on this.
Yeah, go to Gary.
Wow. So, should a man move in with a woman? I mean, I think that, in my opinion, from what I was taught, if you don't have your stuff together, then don't do it.
Okay.
Then don't do it. Because the slightest thing that,
Talking to the mic.
the slightest thing or the slightest problem that happens, right?
Yeah.
She could be like, get out.
Right.
Right.
And as a man, you should not be, in my opinion, in a position where someone's going to be able to tell you, get out my house.
Right.
Right? So I think if anything, if you're going to move in with a woman, it should be something like 50, like let's have a clear understanding.
Right. It is.
Both of our names is on the lease.
Right.
Because, sometimes women tend to get emotional and, do shit. And a lot of guys, they get caught with that, right?
Okay.
A lot of them get caught. Like I know personal situations where, dude got thrown out the house. She threw his clothes out the window, and he couldn't really do anything because her name is on a lease.
Right.
It's her place.
Right.
So
You're a visitor.
yeah.
Right.
So,
But
yeah.
what are some of the things, I'll shoot it to you, Robin. What are some of the things that would make a man want to move in with a woman?
There'd be a couple of things. One is financial.
Okay.
Right.
I think that's a big deal.
One is financial, and it is a big deal. It's a very big deal.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I would say, change in life
Circumstances.
events.
Okay.
Like, say if you had a fire in your home,
Okay.
or something like that, where you really had nowhere to go, but you were only there, you needed somewhere to go in order to get your things together, your stuff together.
Right.
I think that's even a slippery slope. But what you're missing here is, it doesn't matter if you move into a woman's house legally after 30 days, you can't get kicked out. You can go to the courts, and as long as you're there for more than 30 days, no one can kick you out.
Right.
You'd have to actually go to court and get, the papers drawn up to get you out.
But there'd have to be something that would prove that you were there for 30 days.
Well, a lot of things can prove that you were there for 30 days.
Okay, let's go.
Let's say mail. Say you get mail there.
Okay.
For 30 days.
Okay.
What else?
So if you don't want to get kicked out, guys, you got to start getting mail early.
Yeah.
But most dudes, like what Robin's saying, I understand, and she's right. But I don't know any dude that's done what Robin said.
Right.
Yeah, they all
of them
get
is
kicked
just-
out. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
They
Yeah.
all get kicked out.
And you did not ask me how I felt about it.
I would like to know. We would love to know how you feel about
Okay,
it.
so let me
it's
tell
very
you.
important.
No, it is not a good idea. Okay, it's not a good idea because you have not put any investment into that home.
Okay.
Let's just say the woman has worked for everything in that space.
Right.
You come in, and a lot of times you'll come into someone's space, they'll move things around, they'll bring things in.
Right, right.
And that's your personal, your personal
Yeah,
space.
it's your stuff.
Men, I wouldn't say men, but people tend to, when they don't earn what they have, they take it for granted.
Right.
So I think for a man to move in with a woman, a man is much more likely to be successful in his relationship if he has his own.
Right.
And I think coming from a position where you have to live with someone doesn't really make you, material to be a boyfriend or a husband.
Right. And I think it puts you in a position of weakness.
Well, that's the whole
That's
purpose. Yeah,
right. If that's
it.
your situation.
Well, there are a lot of guys that are doing that.
Right.
Unfortunately, they're like, I think what has been shown is that the mentality with a lot of these guys now, they don't care. Like it's like they don't care.
They're pookies. They're pookies.
So is this prevalent in the black community particularly, or is this across the board with whites, Puerto Ricans?
I don't know any
Spanish?
white Spanish people. I don't know any
That's an interesting
couples.
question,
I mean,
right?
we're talking about it from a standpoint of the African American.
American male, yeah.
But there may be, like, I don't think we're an anomaly in this. I
Right.
don't think, I think all across the board, men do move in with women.
Right.
And it's a bad idea.
I think it's becoming more prevalent now because I think that the men don't understand how to be a man, actually, how to actually have your own stuff, how to get your own apartment. Like a lot of those relationships, these guys go from living with their mom and then they move out to go live with the woman, not understanding what the woman went through to actually get her stuff. So they don't respect that.
Yeah.
Or they were in a relationship that they might have lived with somebody there and then they transition to the next relationship
Right.
where they live with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that happens too.
Yes.
A lot. And I think that the person moving in to the person's home, they tend to, like you were saying, not to really respect the stuff.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're having an argument, right? And the person moved in, and then you all have an argument, the guy's like breaking up all your shit and all that.
Right.
He didn't buy that.
Right.
He didn't buy that to break it.
Right.
So what is it that you're doing?
True.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that women, see themselves in a relationship. Some women actually want to have a man. They really want to be in a relationship. They really want to have a man, and they make a bad choice in that particular situation. I think that if you're going to move in with, if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, number one, a man should have his own apartment and a woman should have their own apartment. Let's start with that. And if y'all are coming together to live together, then it should be an absolute 100% joint effort. Yep. Everything has to be joint. Yep. Everything has to be joint. Everything. The financials have to be joint. Paying for everything has to be joint. You're on the lease. He's on the lease.
Right.
Or if you're getting a home, you're both on the mortgage and you're both on the hook for it. So this way, let's just go from a standpoint of a mortgage. From a standpoint of a mortgage, if everything goes south, then you guys sell the house and you split it.
Right.
What's left, or you split the loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you're not in the loss, but it is at least both of you in the situation together. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's really important. I also think that, if a woman has her own place and a man has their own place, maybe y'all should both rent those places out to other people. So at least you have some income coming from those places.
Yes, that's correct.
Right? Especially if your rent is relatively reasonable. You know what? You can get a certain market value for that. You know what? I'm going to rent my spot out.
Yep.
You rent your spot out. And that money, we're going to use that to contribute to the mortgage.
Yes.
Of what we're doing.
Yes. It's a really good play.
I think that that's, the way that should be. But I think a lot of men nowadays are looking for a mom. I think they're looking for a mom. I think they're looking to be taken care of. I think they enjoy playing video games and sitting on the couch and, and smoking weed and not doing anything that's progressive. I think we moved into that type of society, especially with the younger generation that's coming up, the ones in their 30s, you know what I'm saying, in their 40s and 30s. My daughter, she's 37. She's about 37, 38, and she doesn't live with anybody. And each time she did, it was bad. Right. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what was really crazy. She went to Atlanta and she ended up living with her boyfriend in Atlanta, but her boyfriend lived with the mom.
Oh no! So
she lived with a new baby in the boyfriend's mom's house. And I remember talking to her about that because they would have before that, when she had her own place here in New York, everything was gravy.
Yeah.
Once she went to live with him, then the relationship went really bad because number one, she wasn't in New York anymore.
Right.
So she didn't have a support system. So she became isolated, right? Which is something that a narcissist would really do.
Yes.
Right? So now she's isolated away from her family. She's in a strange place that she doesn't know. And he then became abusive, literally. Verbally abusive, to the point that the mom was looking at him like, "Yo, B, like, what are you doing? Like,
wow,
why are you treating her like this?"
Right.
And I remember talking to her on the phone. I was like, "Yo, you got to go get your own place."
Yeah.
And at that stage in the game, here's how much that sucked. And her being a female, she actually ended up having to like go into a shelter or something.
Yeah.
And then make the move from out of that.
Yeah.
And out of the ashes, the Phoenix happened. She opened up her own business. She has her own shops and stuff now.
She overcame adversity.
She overcame the adversity of the situation. But in the reverse, it was just as bad.
Yes, absolutely. And I'd have to add too that sometimes it's situations where a man will move into a woman's home and get her pregnant so he can have security.
Security, yes, yes, yes.
Right? He'll get her pregnant on purpose so that he can provide himself security.
Right. Which is a false sense of security.
Right.
Because if she don't want to be with you, she's just not going to be with you.
Right.
It's going to be done. You know what I'm saying? But now you're done and you got a kid.
Right.
Right? It'd be better for you to not do it. If it's going to be done anyway, it's going to be done on the merit of the relationship.
True.
Right? And then at least when you split, that's clean. Right? But these guys get this false sense of entitlement and false sense of security that if they get the woman pregnant, then hey, you know what? Now I know I gotta.
Right.
I gotta. Right? It's the I gotta effect.
Yeah.
Right?
But you ain't going nowhere.
Like, you ain't going nowhere. And you know what? You're right. You ain't going nowhere. But it don't mean you're going to live there.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
You're right. You ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
You're going to be there for 18 years.
Yep. More than that.
And more.
Yeah.
But you ain't living there.
You know that's right.
It's a whole nother set of circumstances now, child support and everything else. So I think that in any relationship, it has to be that you both committed to the place that you're living in, and you buy things together and you put stuff in there together and you do stuff like that. And in this way, you know, when that argument happens, you're gonna be a little less prone to be throwing shit around. You're gonna be a little less prone to breaking shit.
What we got on the chat?
In the chat room, Karen Brewer says, "I'm in the position where I own my home, but I find it hard to meet a guy who does as well. A lot of older single guys have been taken to the cleaners by divorce, yes, and don't have the same, and that's true. And I know that has happened to a lot of men, but the first thing you have to look at in that situation is, you know, like I get it, but I mean, you know, and a man could be Captain Save a Hoe, but a woman could be Captain Save a Hoe too.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got this guy, this divorced guy, you really like the guy, so on and so forth. But let's look at it from this standpoint. If he's been divorced long enough, he should be able to get up on his feet. If he's been divorced long, like it shouldn't be in a situation that he's living with his friends, right? He's living with his friends, or you know, or he's in a shelter, right? It shouldn't really be that. It should be enough time. And if you're going to deal with a man that's like that, you need to make sure that they have their own. I mean, just straight up. You know what I'm saying? You can't afford to have an apartment because you've gotten into a divorce. Like, and I'm going to ask you this, Karen. How does that? You know, the person has been taken to the cleaners, right, in a divorce. How do you, like, how was the man living before you guys got together, right? And it's cool that you have your home, right? But at that stage in the game, if you're going to get involved with somebody, you guys would have to come to some sort of terms and agreement with that.
I think she's bringing up a whole nother issue. She's bringing up an issue where she has a home. She's not in an apartment. And she's dating someone who does not have equally what she has.
Right.
So how do you work that part out when you want to get together? Do you sell your house?
Right.
You know, so that, I mean, this is...
It's a real conversation.
Yeah. You're in a relationship with 5 years, right? Let's just say. You spent 20 years on a mortgage.
Right.
And this person has an apartment or condo or whatever.
Right.
And this discussion is, okay, we're going to take this relationship to the next level. At what point do you decide to liquidate your assets that you've accumulated to do something jointly with someone else? Like what kind of deal would that be? And how would that be structured?
Right. What would that look like? Because I know if that was me, if I was in Karen's shoes, I wouldn't leave. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, nah, I got a mortgage. It's been, you know, I got a 20-year mortgage. I've been paying for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost done paying for the house.
So would you then rent out your house and then get a new house with someone else? It
could be a strong possibility. Like, here's what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't lose in the situation. If I'm going to move in with you, right, then I'd be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to take my house. I'm going to rent my house out, right? Which now is real estate, right? It's just real estate at the end of the day. And I'm going to get this other crib with this dude. Now, if shit goes south with the dude, you still got your house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know people that are like that. You know, my friend, he's like that. He has a house in Florida and he has a house up here. And the house in Florida, he rents out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a way to kind of get around that, I think.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? where, and she'll still have more than him because she has the real estate
Right.
in the home, but jointly they're together in a new space.
Okay, so another question. So let's say the couple, like say in this particular case,
Yeah.
she has A1 credit. He wants to move in with her, but his credit is terrible. Now, he has the money,
Right.
but I mean, on paper, he looks like trash.
Right.
How do you work that out? Like, what do you think the mechanisms is to solve that problem?
I think the mechanism of that is then it becomes simply, okay, listen, I'm gonna need you to build your credit up, right? Because you have a relationship with a woman, right? Listen, let's work on your credit. Let's get your credit straight so that we can make the move to the next level. Karen says, I wouldn't sell my place. I wouldn't mind if a man moved in, but he can put in for the bills and etc. Does that include the mortgage also? Or are you just talking about like
the house may be paid for. She
Right.
could be paying taxes on it.
True. And would you want him to, help pay the taxes? You know what I'm saying? Or are we talking about he does the cable, he does the electricity, the essentials for the house. You know what I'm saying? Which to me, it's not a fair split. But if you're comfortable in that space, then that's cool. But I don't see it really being.
It's still her house at the end of the day.
It's still your house.
It's not in his name. It's
Right.
not equal. It's not an equal.
Right.
There's no parsing that, right?
Right.
She will still be the title holder of that house,
Absolutely.
which would put him in a bad position anyway.
And then you got to look at it kind of like what is the character of the guy? You know what I'm saying? That you're with. Is he a stand-up guy? All these different things kind of come into play. But ultimately, here's what I think in that situation. Even if the guy is paying the bills, I really don't think it would work out. Mm-hmm. I just don't. I think that, the unfortunate character of people is they don't respect shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to respect your
Well,
shit.
especially if they don't put any
Anything into
investment
in it. Right.
into it, right? The investment would be, well, I gain or lose, but I have more to lose.
There it is. Karen says, I don't have a mortgage. This is why it's hard. Mm-hmm. And that's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We kind of figured that.
Yeah.
Where you're going with that. So now this becomes kind of different, right? Because you don't need him to pay the mortgage because your house is already paid for, right? You don't have a mortgage. So now what you know about is him splitting the bills. And still with that, it doesn't feel good to me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I'll be
you're
right back. I'm going to
renting
the bathroom.
out your space, but the guy you're renting it out to is basically laying in your bed.
Well, okay. I want to your point when you're talking about the credit.
Yeah.
I think that, so a lot of times women do have good credit.
Mm-hmm.
And there are guys who their credit is not all that good. But also in those guys, there's some guys that are professional guys and they make the money, but
Right.
they don't have good credit.
Right.
Like you got doctors that don't have good credit.
That's true.
Right? So I think that there needs to be an agreement. Like, look, if I'm going to come in and do this, I don't mind,
Right.
paying whatever, right?
Okay. No, I think you're right.
Because if he's a professional guy with with stable income, right, and he may not have an 800 credit score,
Right.
but he has stable, significant income coming in,
Right.
Yeah.
then there's something that could be worked with that,
Okay.
right? Because look, I got.
And I think that's a big deal. Go ahead.
I got a friend that's a doctor, right? He went to go buy a Benz, and it was all about his credit. He was like, "Yo, I got the money in cash in my bank,"
Right.
and
Right.
it gave him a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
His interest rate is going to be like this.
But I'm just saying. But he's a professional guy with
Which means
with means and could
Right.
buy the car cash, but because his credit wasn't that, like the Benz dealer gave him, gave
Yeah, it's probably
gave him-
student loans or whatever.
So yeah, but I'm just saying. So it's not. So I think there's something can be worked out. Right?
I think so.
They can work. It can be worked out. You just don't.
No,
want
I mean, let's just say if a man moves in with a woman, should there be like an agreement on paper, right? That they both sign to agree. Like, listen, I mean, not a lot of people do this.
right.
Because they're moving on like the honeymoon phase. They're like,
Right. It
or
gets
there
real.
may be some incentive. Someone if it's the man's incentive, that means that he doesn't really have anything. But I think, whoever's home you're moving into, there should be a written agreement,
Should be. I mean, look.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like a lease,
I-
a sublease or something.
Something.
a good friend of mine, Sperry, who's an investment banker, he always says marriage is relationships is a business deal.
It is.
Right.
It's contractual.
Yeah, and he feels that with situations like that, like look, let's work, let's negotiate the terms.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
But then on one end, okay, this becomes a business, but then the relationship, the emotional part,
I think that.
By the way, big shout out to Embrace the Grace.
Hey,
She's in the
hey, Grace.
Hey, Grace, you want to call into the show? Have a call in. Go ahead.
But no, and I think there's a misconception about marriage that people seem to. I mean, like we all believed in the American dream until we started paying taxes, right? Marriage is the same way. So marriage is not all about love and romance. It is a business at the end of the day. And you have to be partners. And that partnership may not have anything to do with love. It's just, how you handle your business to keep the marriage strong. You have to have a foundation. And all of that with the feelings and emotions are an added bonus, really, because it's what got you two together in the first place. But once that wanes, everybody's going to have these challenges, right? And that really is nothing to do with romance and, all of that good stuff. It's at the end of the day, is the mortgage getting paid? Are we able to pay our taxes? Are we able to do this together? In my opinion, that's what I
mean, I think, look, I do agree that marriage is a partnership. And I think that there is a misconception that that some people think that it's not. But I mean, when you go in, it's like, if we're going to become partners in life, right? So relationship, romance, building a family, the whole shit, then that needs to be, you need to have that clear understanding.
Absolutely.
But I think that a lot of people don't have that,
Right.
They're getting married because it's beneficial, right? In some way,
Right.
Or even
Shout out to Embrace the Grace. She's in the
Hey,
house.
right? Or even in quite a number of cases, it's a business deal, right? Let's be real. Some of these marriages are business deals, right?
well, I mean, it's been going on since the beginning of
Right.
time, right? Like in certain cultures, there are men who marry women and they have to give cows and,
Sheep.
sheep farm. And,
Yup.
it's like, you have to show your worth to the family that when you bring in this wife, that the family's going to be taken care of, right? So, and honestly, dating is prostitution, if you think about it.
Somebody said that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's a transaction being made, right? So either way, whether it's a marriage or whether you're dating, there's got to be equal sparsity between two. But when it comes to men moving in with women, I think there should be a clear agreement, especially if you're over a certain age. It's ridiculous.
Right.
But I think that the sex, right? Let's be real. I think the sex messes that up because he's putting it down on her, and she, he feels that if he's putting it down so good, then she's going to let him move in. And there's a lot of cases where that happens.
Well, there should be like some sort of it's almost like catfishing, really, but with your dick, right? So let's just say
Dick fishing.
right. So it's kind of like you don't need to love me as a person. Just love the way I'm putting it down so I can get what I want. That's crazy.
That's exactly what that is.
But that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what a lot of them do. But
Good. No.
But yeah,
I mean, send Grace my number. So
Okay.
maybe she can call into the show.
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I'm hooked up to the Roadcaster.
So, but that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah.
So it's, again, like they don't care, right?
Right.
So they don't care. So they
You need my
feel-
glasses?
They
Okay.
feel like if they putting it down and she's gonna get all emotional,
Right.
And she's gonna, and he could tell her whatever story. Like, how many women have said that they fell for the BS, right?
Right.
After he put it down and he tells her some sob story, and she lets him move in.
Okay, so let me ask you both a question as
Yeah, yeah.
men. You have women that you're related to. Let's just say she had her own place and she met a guy, and this scenario is coming up for her. What would be your advice to her?
In terms of what?
Like if she has her own place, anybody, like you just mentioned your daughter.
Right.
Let's just say another daughter or cousin or
Yeah.
friend
Yeah.
or whatever. If she had her own place and she was dating a guy who did not or was looking to move in with her, and she came to you for advice, like, should I? What would be your advice to
I'd be
her?
like, nah, I don't do that. I'd be like,
I mean, but why?
but I would ask her, number one, what is the character of the guy? That's number one. Two, does the guy have as much as she has, right? Or somewhere in the neighborhood,
Okay.
or somewhere close. Does the guy have a job, like a real job? Does he have a job that he's working that it's a real job? Is he a professional,
Okay.
right? Those would be kind of my questions. You know what I'm saying? If he's a security guard, I'll be like, nah, you know what? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. If he worked at, Home Depot, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But if the guy was a professional guy, right, that would be some of the questions that I would tell her to analyze her situation and see what that is. I don't think you have any roots in anything, and no bust on anybody that does these jobs in terms of security or what I call transient jobs, because they're really transient jobs.
Right.
That that no bust on them, but I'm only saying that would give me pause.
You mean like a construction worker?
Construction worker isn't transient. Like a lot of times, a construction worker is a very permanent thing, and they make really, really good money.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the guys that don't really make good money.
Okay.
That's why they can't afford an apartment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But here's another scenario. Now we're speaking from a standpoint of means, right? Now there's a lot of women who, rely on government assistance, right? To maintain their place. Like they, from all,
Section 8.
things like that. Like they, she can't afford her place either, really, technically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Technically, she can't.
Right. She's getting subsidies from the government. That's why she has her place.
Right.
More than likely, she probably got it because she has a kid already.
Okay.
Right. And the kid is being subsidized by the government too. So in this particular case, the man, the transient guy who works in a warehouse or whatever, he has more than her, really. Well, technically not, because she's getting subsidies from the government. So she's getting thousands of dollars a month. So what do you say in that particular case where, he's not a low-level worker and he sees that she has something that she's being subsidized by, and he can save money by partnering with her financially.
Right.
Like, would that be a good idea?
I'll send it to Gary first. Go ahead. Let me just hit Casey. Casey said, yes, sir. My wife and I have an agreement. Just hold your end up, and it works with less bumps along the way. And he said, this is coming from a married man.
Okay.
I think that for those women that have their places paid for by government assistance, if they're dealing with a guy that comes to live with them, then they got to really see if this guy is real serious, right?
And is she working, by the way? This person on government assistance, like, has a good job?
Well,
Because some people on Section 8 they have great jobs.
Right, true.
No, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
well, the guidelines for Section 8 are you have to make a certain amount of money under, what do you call it? The AGI. Some average gross income. If you save a person's on Section 8, right?
Yeah.
They tell you if you make a certain dollar over the maximum, you don't qualify
lose
for
Section 8.
Yeah, you lose
Okay.
it.
Like I don't think if you're making $50,000, for example, you're not going to get Section 8.
Right,
That's
but
correct.
then if you're both on government assistance, I don't really think that's a good relationship.
Well, it depends though, because she may have a kid. Remember, your income level is based on how many people are in your family. So she can make 50 and have 3 kids, and still fall under that
Section
guideline.
8, right.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think that if she's not if he's not looking to use her, right? If they're looking to have a real relationship and build something, right? Because you have people that's been on government assistance, and they came together and worked and got off it, right?
Yeah.
Right, which I can feel that energy.
Which it needs to be that kind of energy,
Right.
But I think what happens more than not is that the guy sees this as just an opportunity. Like, okay, let me lay up here for a bit, stack my paper, and I don't know, 6
And then
months,
bounce.
a year.
I'm gonna go into some of this relationship stuff that Robin sent
yeah,
on
no,
Wednesday, which is
no.
really funny.
What?
But that's why I've been looking at it. Let me see. Casey says, so a doctor can't date a poor person. Classism all day. Yes, it definitely is classism. But here's what I'll say to that. And I'll speak to that like this. I don't practice, or in my lifetime, I haven't practiced classism, right? You can have less than me and I'll be like, all right, don't worry about it. It's cool. We'll work. But at the end of the day, you really got to be up on the character of the person. You really got to be up on, like, if you're dating a person that has less than you, and you see they're not motivated to do anything, they're not motivated to better themselves in some form of fashion, then classism sticks for me. Mm-hmm. Classism sticks because it's just not going to come together. It's not going to gel because you're going to become frustrated. You're going to become frustrated because you're like, damn, you know what? This person isn't doing anything to really better the situation, to really better
Like
themselves.
we can have so much more if the person
If the
just
person did.
Yeah, did a little bit more.
And that's what becomes the business in the relationship.
Yep.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, a doctor can marry a poor person, but if in this day and age, I don't, the whole man goes to work and the woman stays home and does all that. That's a dead breed.
Yeah,
that's
that's
dinosaur
dead.
shit.
That's
You know what I'm
dead.
saying? That's dinosaur shit. In the 50s, that's what it was. The woman stayed home. That's dinosaur shit now. Because number one, too, you got to have 2 salaries to support a household. Just straight up.
Yeah.
The economic situation has changed since then.
Yeah.
Back then, you could have one income and be able to survive. But that died. You know what I'm saying? You got to have 2 incomes. So the thing is, how long would a person put up with that?
Right.
How long would a person be like, you know what? It's okay. Don't worry about it, babe. I'm going to pay for everything. And we're just going to do
Yeah, and
that.
that makes you like a parent, doesn't
Right.
it?
Now it's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Right,
You know
because
what
the
I'm saying?
person's now dependent on that one income
To
to be dependent. Like you'll be completely dependent. Like you won't have no say, no opinion, no nothing.
Right. And then that falls under the rule of absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you have somebody, whether it's a man or woman, that has absolute power over you.
Right.
Right? So it's like being a child.
Yes.
Really, because it's like, no, you can't do that. What do you mean, no, I can't do that? What do you mean, no, I can't go and buy? I can't go and spend. I can't go and do stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now that kind of becomes that. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think that's a big deal.
So
Well,
before
go
we
ahead.
get into the relationship aspect of the show, let's just
Yeah.
go into like topics. Just throw them out there, Gary,
Okay, there is the
and see what sticks.
the young guy that got caught with the classified documents.
Yes,
that guy.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I know that he had security clearance. He was in
Yeah.
like some branch of, I don't know if he was in the military. I think
He's in the National Guard.
Yeah, it was a national.
Yeah,
Guard,
so I don't know how.
At
and they
21.
used- but they used the chat from a video game, right? Minecraft or something like that.
That's what he put it up on.
Yeah,
It was Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
And he actually, I think he took the documents home or took pictures of the
he
documents.
took pictures of it.
And then he put them up
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Discord.
Yeah.
Right? Top secret, a 21-year-old kid.
Well, he's now being charged with espionage.
Espionage, yeah.
Which, and it's funny because it's similar to like Edward Snowden and who was the other guy? Assange? No.
Yeah, but Julius, not
No.
Julius, no.
No, it was Snowden and I thought it was somebody else.
But there are people that saying that, well, look how quick they charge this kid with espionage and Trump with the documents.
Oh, don't mention his name.
I'm just saying
I know.
that's a big. So,
But
Well,
I mean, at the end of the
go
day,
ahead.
first of all, there's espionage. That's number one.
Yep.
But Snowden knew, right? But here's the real question: these guys, they've done this, right? They put this information out there in the world. Snowden heavy, right? But did it really change anything? did it open people's minds? Did people go, oh, look at this, what the government is doing?
Yeah.
Did it make a difference?
No.
No, exactly. It didn't make a difference.
No.
Like, you did it because you felt a certain way about it, and you're like, this is unjust, and I feel like the people should know. And the Snowden's documents are all over Wikipedia or wherever you want to find them. This dude went and did that, and it didn't change. It didn't move the needle one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So
all our tax dollars are still going to Ukraine anyway.
Right.
And they're still going to fight this war, undercover, to help Ukraine fight Russia.
Right.
I mean, whatever we know now, it's not really. They're not gonna bring them home.
Right.
So
what did you do really?
Right.
Here's what you did. You did absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
Except
go to jail. Straight to jail.
That's fun.
You fucked around, you found out.
Right. So, if I had a top secret security clearance, I just wouldn't even bother because I know it wouldn't, maybe I'd tell my friends, I'd be like, yo, this is kind of crazy. What's going on? But after that, to actually put it out into the world and think that that's going to change something, that's going to move the needle, it has been proven a couple of times already that it doesn't affect anybody.
Right.
Nobody pays attention, especially not in this country.
Go ahead, Gary.
But then why? I mean, you should understand the risk, right, of doing something like that, right? Because, I mean, you're going to get caught, right? And it's not like you're going to, it's not like they're going to give you a slap on the wrist, right? So you just fucked his life up.
Yeah, he did.
Just to kind of circle back 1 second, because Karen put something in the chat room. Okay. She said, my ex-hubby had nothing when I met him. I told him he had to have a job before he could move in. This is all bad from the beginning, Karen. That's what I'm saying. But I was renting. He had to pay half of the bills, rent and food. We worked together and brought our first home. Can't help who you fall in love with. You're absolutely right, but the word ex kind of negates that whole shit you said.
Because he's not in the home now. So somehow he had to get up out of there for some reason.
My ex-hubby kind of like negates that whole statement that you're making. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't help who you fall in love with.
That's true.
That is true. There's no doubt about it. However, he is your ex for a reason. That's one.
Y'all both got the home, man.
And two, the fact of the matter, you had to tell him to have a job before he could move in is kind of, a little wacky. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if I got to tell,
he had good character.
Maybe, and he might very well. But if I got to tell you to have a job, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's kind of like, you know what? Nah, you better have a job.
I hope he has a new home.
You should. But Karen, how's he doing now? By the way, follow-up question, Karen. Where does he live now, and how's he doing? I just want to kind of circle back to that. But the dude that did this thing, just he fucking blew it.
Mm-hmm. He blew it.
He blew it.
He blew it.
I never would have done that.
Speaking of blowing it, go ahead.
The two Justins down in Tennessee.
Yes. Okay. So tell us the backstory about that, Gary.
Well, basically, what happened was it last Thursday? I believe it was in the Tennessee House. There was this protest about a lot of students and people came out for anti-gun.
Yeah, and that happened because of that mass shooting, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and they wanted to pass the law to allow open carry, right?
Something like that. Yeah. So
Rocky's DJing. Hold on.
Nice.
Oh my God.
He's working on it.
So the two Justins and the white female House member, they were participated in the protest.
Right.
And the leader of the Senate, the leader of the Tennessee House, expelled the two black the two black House members, saying that how they violated some rule, or what have you. So it catapulted them into national attention. Now the interesting thing was the first Justin, I think Justin Jones, they expelled him.
Right.
Then the white woman who's also Democrat, they let her stay.
Well, they voted and she won by one vote.
But still, they let her
stay. They let her stay,
right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. She had the consideration of them voting her out.
And she's on camera saying that it had to do with the color of my skin.
She's honest.
She clearly said that
Of course.
on camera. And then the other Justin, they obviously voted him out.
So when did it become against the law to protest against something that you believe in?
When you're black.
But see,
Right.
I could go into so much stuff about down there.
I'm just going to answer Karen real quick. Karen said, we split 10 years later after they gotten together. They grew apart. Karen said, he's doing okay buying a home with someone else.
Oh, okay.
Big shout out to the hubby. Landed on his feet. I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I was wishing him well. I just wanted to know. I wanted an update on the story.
So now both Justins, they've become national figures, right?
Okay.
Where now there's people telling them that they need to run for Senate and stuff like that. But the interesting thing is that Monday and Tuesday, they both got voted back in.
Well, they
Okay.
had to.
By unanimous vote,
Right.
right? So whatever stunt the Republican House
Tried to
wanted
pull.
backfired in a major
Oh,
way.
and it backfired so much so that
How bad did it go, Robbie?
So it turns out that the Tennessee speaker of the House, someone dug into his past
I
or
love
what
in-
he's doing.
I love investigative
There's
journalism.
an investigative journalist who found out that not only is he, he's misrepresenting his district. He lives in a whole nother district. He lives in a whole nother district in Nashville, and he's actually using another condo in another section through a trust, through taxpayer dollars. It's like almost $100,000
Whoa.
so far. And this investigative journalist found out that he was having an affair with a lobbyist
Okay.
who also is married.
Oh,
And
That's interesting.
just gets good.
yeah, so he is now. I mean, if he should be by now, he should be investigated and thrown off just by ethics and moral. Yeah. He's just And they tagged his wife on Twitter about the woman he's been having an affair with. This is crazy. Yeah, he.
You know why that happened, right?
No,
Duh.
Yeah, because he got the 2 Justin deal.
There you go.
He got the 2 Justin deal.
Got it real. He got the stiffy.
Yeah, he did. He got the stiffy.
The epiphany of the stiffy.
Yeah, they got all his business out there, and it's tax evasion too. Think about
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. So
Sure.
he's corrupt.
Speaking about ethics, there's the Clarence Thomas.
What's up with Clarence?
So
Oh yes,
Dirk, guys, shoot it.
So another investigative journalist broke the story where Clarence Thomas was being he got these lavish gifts from a Republican billionaire donor named Harlan Crow, right? So in the beginning, it was they found out that Harlan Crow was letting Clarence use his private jet, vacation on his yacht, and a bunch of other things, and Clarence didn't report it like how he should.
right.
So Clarence's response was, he's just a close friend of the family, and we're doing these family vacations and trips. Well, what comes out after is that Harlan Crow has been doing these things for Clarence for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But also bought a property that his mother lives in.
Oh, I see.
Right? So basically, here's what you have. You have a billionaire Republican donor that owns Clarence Thomas. Let's
Right,
be clear.
right. Yeah.
Let's be clear. And what the investigative journalists found was that every issue that Harlan Crow wanted done, Clarence Thomas voted
Absolutely.
on it.
Yes.
So basically, you have a
Yeah,
Republican. So he owns. So
Clarence Thomas.
so now the Senate Judiciary Committee is investigating them, and they're going to try to,
I don't know what they can do because there's no rules. Is there?
Well, they're going to. Well, with all
There's got to
this-
be ethic rules.
Well, so they're looking to update the ethic rules, but all these other things coming out, they're looking to force him to resign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they can.
Because
So they
he's clearly like, if it's documented, I mean, it's documented. He's voted along the lines
Right.
with dude.
for Harlan Crow, and this dude, it's documented that he and you've admitted that he's paid for all this stuff. And the house that your mom is in and been living in,
Right.
This dude pays for and furnishes it and all
Right.
that other shit.
Right. Chris
Like-
Knight said $500,000 vacations.
Yeah, Chris.
Twice his salary
Hey,
for
Chris.
a vacation. He said he's been referred to the Department of Justice, he really broke the law with the house sale. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to pivot to
No,
that
I
when
mean,
you
look,
said
He's a
he's got
moron.
issues. No, he's got not only has issues with this donor, and you know, the Republican talking points make me it makes me laugh because they believe that, and I'll bring it two ways. Anytime Democrats are doing something that the Republicans don't like, they bring in George Soros.
But
He's
you know-
he's the one guy.
Right. George Soros.
But they got so many
But that's the
anonymous
boogeyman.
but
but George Soros, the code word for George Soros is Jew.
yeah,
Right? Just
Okay.
like the code word for so
woke.
the
is black.
dog so the dog whistle for Republicans when they say woke, they mean black people.
Right.
When they cry about George Soros, they mean Jews.
Okay.
When they talk about immigrants, they mean Spanish people.
Right.
Right? So come on.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, but it's just funny that although they say Jews or whatever, I don't want to bring that up, but I'm
But
just
it-
saying that they have so many mega donors
Oh, of course.
that
Sure.
they don't bring up, and I'm surprised Democrats don't bring it up.
But wait a minute. Look at all the shit that's and I said this a long time ago. All the shit that Trump is going through now. You don't hear a peep about Robert Mercer.
Murdoch.
No.
Oh, Mercer.
You don't hear a peep about Robert Mercer, and he was the one that bankrolled Trump for everything.
Right. Right.
You don't hear a peep about him.
That was
yeah.
his George Soros.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's do the relationship because you got
Okay.
some interesting stuff.
All right. Okay.
Gary, you'll answer first. I'll go last.
So, okay. Welcome everybody to the relationship segment of the show. Let's go. Okay, so a disclaimer. So every Wednesday I get relationship advice from SBC Chat on Twitter, and they have a couple different, scenarios that I think are hilarious and like to share with you. So here's how it's going to go. I'm going to read off the question. Gary, I'm going to throw it to you, Gary,
Okay.
and then we're going to get Rock's opinion, and that's going to be cool.
Okay. Are you going to have an opinion on this too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Me and Gary will chop it up, and then we'll throw it to you. How's
All right.
that?
Cool.
You read the questions?
No.
I should throw you off. Anyway,
No, I'm cool.
okay. Ready?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the most recent one. I had a threesome with a coworker and his girl that went wrong after he finished with me. His girl tried to fight me, so I went home and went straight to bed. My husband woke me up because I stunk of sex and had on another man's drawers.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Wow.
He's not speaking to me. Advice?
Over. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wow.
There's a lot in that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Take it, Gary.
So she had a threesome
Right.
with her coworker.
And his girlfriend.
And his girl. And apparently he finished on her. What does that mean?
Okay.
He finished.
He finished. Yeah.
To completion.
Yeah.
To completion.
completion,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
It
Right.
was a
Okay.
happy ending.
Right.
So, all right. So if she had this threesome,
Oh, but he didn't finish on the girlfriend.
Right.
That's why the girlfriend wanted to beat her up
Right. Because he wanted to finish.
with her.
well, see, here's the okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So if you're gonna do threesomes, there needs to be a real understanding,
Right.
You can't just do it fly by night or just because it feels right or the moment, right?
Yeah.
Because women,
Yes.
especially if it's two women that a guy is dealing with, somebody is bound to catch some type of
Feelings.
feeling,
Right. Right.
Like, and I would say, unless you're dealing with a woman, in my opinion, unless you're dealing with a woman that gets off from that, then don't do it.
Right.
Right.
Right? Because there are women who get off from seeing their man with
That's
another
true.
woman.
That's
Right.
true.
Right? Just like there are men,
men that
who get off from seeing their wife or
With another
girlfriend
man.
with another man.
Okay.
So if your lady's not into that,
Yeah.
if she's not really into that, and she wants to, let's say, do it because
Because you want to
pressuring
do
her.
it.
because you
yeah.
want to do it,
Yeah.
then no. Then it's all
Yeah.
it's as my granddad would say, it's problems waiting to happen. Right?
Come on, granddad.
It's problems. So that situation, I think that was sunk from the start.
Yes.
Right? Because you even for those women who agreed to do it,
Right.
they don't want the boyfriend or the husband giving the other girl more affection.
Oh
right?
yeah, no,
Right.
that's not the
Right.
point. That was
Like-
not the purpose.
Like you can't be kissing,
Right.
right? Some people you can't be kissing her more than or more affectionately that you kiss your lady,
Right.
Right? There's gonna be problems.
Okay.
Or you can't even look like you enjoying it
Wow.
More than what you live,
right?
yeah.
Because women see this shit, right?
Or the vice versa for the man.
Right.
But I'm not saying
exactly
anything.
right. So
chilling.
yeah, so that situation there, that was just messed up from the start. That was
Okay.
just- yeah.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, having a threesome with your coworker is a no-no. Doing anything with your coworker is
It's a no.
Okay. And as far as she's putting herself in a position where she's got to go back to work, if anything goes wrong with the guy, he can bring a lot of trouble to her. You know,
lose her
I think
job.
the girlfriend wanting to fight. I mean, she can knock a fair one out, but losing her job should be her biggest concern.
Yeah.
Okay. And apparently, her man does like her more than he likes his girlfriend. So I mean, yeah, she just got to hold that L.
Yeah, but one would think, and it would. I think it's common sense that hey, you don't play where you work,
Right.
But there's people that do
Yeah,
it,
don't shit
Right.
where you eat. Yeah.
right? Yeah. And so there's people that do it.
Let's go with the second part of this. She's married and she went
It's
home
not- Yeah,
smelling like
yeah. That's
juices with another man's drawers on.
You're like, how stupid are you?
Yeah, that.
Like, what's the outcome for you?
Right, where's you at
So
with that?
how much?
She could possibly lose her job and her marriage.
Yeah, that's just yeah.
She homeless.
She's a dodo bird.
She homeless.
All right, Rock, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I mean, the way I feel about it, number one, she's a dodo bird. Let's just start
All
with
right,
that.
let's do that.
And then two, the problem with the threesome is it sounds like a good idea until it's actually happening, and then when it's happening and you see that your man or your old lady is enjoying it a lot more than she enjoyed it with you, that's going to erupt some kind of feelings, just straight up. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you're doing this threesome and this dude wanted this girl at his job for a long time,
I'm sure.
a long time. So he naturally is going to be more invested in her than he is his old lady. You know what I'm saying? So that was a problem to begin with. Let's just start with that. Two, the rest of that, you're a stupid bitch. You know what I'm saying? You're going to wear another man's drawers home, and then you ain't going to even go and try to take no shower and try to clean yourself up and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Your husband has every right to get rid of you
Yeah, she was dipping and dodging.
and hotel lodging. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly
So-
has zero respect for her
For a
husband.
husband.
No,
You know what I'm
clearly.
saying? The fact that you come home and smell like
dripping?
that, you got
come
no
home
respect.
dripping?
Right. Come on.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? And the husband sitting home sipping, you know what? You might get the 5 fingers to the face behind that.
Yeah.
Bow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so,
the least of her problems.
yeah, to me, you would deserve anything your husband did to you.
Yeah.
Because that's really terrible. That's some dog shit that you did to your
Yeah.
husband. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
She got nuts all on her chin.
Right. And then you lay next to your husband with motherfucking sperm breath? Like, come on. Like, really?
Yeah, and she's dripping and ew.
That's a
Anyway.
no-go.
All right, next.
Yeah.
And this is actually has something to do with the topic of our podcast today.
Okay.
Okay. Dated Grady seriously for a year. I asked him to move in, and he said, I can't live with someone unless I plan to marry her. My heart was full. I mailed invites, got fitted for a dress, told my fam. Wow. Now he's saying that he didn't propose. Why is he playing mind games? Advice?
Gary.
Okay.
I like how you just call my name.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, so I always say like it seems like they didn't have the real conversation, right? Because you don't want to do stuff like that and start planning, sending out invites if y'all ain't on the same page,
Right.
right? And even you know, it should be or supposed to be a joint decision. Hey, babe, you know what?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Make this happen. Let's put together a list of people that we want to invite.
Right.
And let's send out invites. Clearly, that wasn't the conversation.
Right.
Right. Clearly. So
Clearly was not.
Yeah. So basically, that's just lack of, that's
Communication.
Just bad, lack of communication, bad communication. They didn't have the real conversation.
Stupidity.
To take it to the next level, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to be on this. You have to be on the same page every step of the way, especially when it gets to that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious because she's saying all this without a ring. She didn't even get proposed to.
Right.
She wasn't even a fiance. Like, I thought there were levels to this. Isn't there like a level to this? I thought you were supposed to be proposed to, engaged, and then work on the marriage.
rest of it,
Exactly. Right.
Right.
But she skipped all of that and went all the way to the end.
Right. Just straight. I'm sending out invitations.
Yeah. She paid for a lot of stuff too.
Yeah. She's another dodo bird.
I'm sure she ordered the invites. She got the dress fitted.
Dodo
She paid
bird.
for,
Dodo bird.
right? She told her fam
Dodo bird.
and no ring.
Dodo bird.
Wow. All right, Rock. Go ahead.
Here it is, quite simple, right? First of all, he never proposed to her in the first place. He just said, if I'm going to do this, this would be the circumstances that I would do it in. Not that I would do it with you.
Right.
He never said that.
Right.
So that wasn't a mind game. You know
He
what I'm
just
saying?
told her straight up.
He told her straight. And you took it upon yourself to escalate the situation to the next level. Right? Now, I'm going to have to go with something here
Go ahead.
that I'm going to have to say. He had to have saw this preparation going on.
Maybe.
At one point, he had to go, hey, listen, mama, you going to get fitted for a dress? Hold on. I didn't say all that. You know,
Slow down.
like, there was a conversation that she
Right.
did have with him. Let's be fair. Right? She didn't just do this all in the dark and then pop up and go, hey, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? There was a discussion. So the mind game part that she's talking about is that part. Her problem is she jumped the gun.
Yeah, she did.
And then he didn't stop her. He didn't put the brakes on her. Yo, hey, listen, man, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna go to the bridal shop and I'm gonna get fitted for the dress. Where
Right.
he should have went, pump your brakes.
Right.
Maybe you misunderstood what I was saying. I would move in to be married with somebody. I'd move in, but
Right.
not you.
Right. And
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
that's the part that she misinterpreted.
Right.
Because she asked him, could he move in after a year?
She asked him,
Yes.
so he didn't even ask her.
No.
So he wasn't even down from the beginning. What
No.
are you talking about?
So he tells her, I can't live with someone unless I plan to marry her.
Yeah, so he wasn't with her to begin
He
with.
didn't say you. He said her. Like you're not even part of this equation.
Right.
So
right,
she
right.
just basically, she lied to herself, really.
Yeah, Karen says, I guess he didn't get down on one knee. Karen, he did not.
No, he did not.
He did not.
She wasn't even wearing a ring pop.
Nothing. And then at one point, obviously, he didn't buy her a ring.
Nope.
Didn't happen. So she deceived herself in that one.
Yo, she definitely was on something.
Next.
All right. My boyfriend agreed to babysit my son while I went to Atlanta on a girls' trip. He flew to Cabo and left my son at another woman's house.
Damn.
She texted me that she had my son and I had to cash out for $300 for babysitting.
Get that bread, girl.
Also, she's pregnant by him.
Oh,
I need revenge ideas.
another family. He brought his kid over to meet the kid.
Yeah, so what do you think, Gary?
Wow, that oh man, that's problems. For one, so for her to go on this trip to was it Atlanta and leave her son with her boyfriend.
Which is not the boyfriend's kid.
Right.
Okay.
So, what would like? There had to have been a discussion, like, okay, look, I'm going on this trip. Are you gonna, or at least, yeah, there had to have been a discussion where she would understand, like, okay, I'm leaving my son with you, and you're gonna babysit him for I don't know the week that I'm going or what have you.
Right.
If that was the discussion, and then he turned around and, gave this kid to some, another
His girlfriend.
his girlfriend, I guess, to babysit. Yo, that's just wrong. That's wrong every
That's raw.
which
That's raw dog.
that's wrong every which way, and then bounces to go see somebody else.
But why? Yeah, because he went to Kabul
Yeah. While she was in Atlanta, he drops the kid off
at his girlfriend's
at
house.
his
That's
girlfriend's
pregnant.
house who's pregnant. He then says, "Watch this kid too. I gotta go somewhere." He goes to Cabo.
Wow.
She mad. She mad.
Right.
Because first of all, how you gonna leave me pregnant and watching your other kid, and that ain't even yours?
Right. Correct. Watching your girlfriend's kid. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, see, that's
There's a lot of holes in that.
exactly.
Like, did she know that he was? He must have known. She must have known that he was with the girl that went to Atlanta. I can't imagine he just popped up with this kid and was like, well, he must have, because she called the girl to
Yeah.
get money.
She texted her.
Yeah, so she was obviously aware. She had access to the girl. She was obviously aware of what was going on.
I mean, yeah, because she texted her. How she get a number to text her?
Right, she had
Here's the thing.
access.
So she brings. So he brings the kid to her to babysit. So she could have said, "Yo, like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, what the hell are you doing? All this other stuff."
Absolutely.
She could have said that.
She could have pumped the brakes on that.
Right. She could have threw a big fit and be like, "Nah," but she took the kid
And then got paid.
and then want to get money for it. So,
Well, I don't blame the lady.
Yeah, now get
I
the
want
300.
the money. Or I'm
Yeah.
dropping the kid off at the nearest police
Station. I don't think. Yeah, I think that was
Because literally, the girl abandoned her son.
that's
absolutely with a stranger technically.
Yeah, really. He's not the father. Y'all not married.
Right.
Y'all not even engaged. We don't know. But
Right.
he went and bounced and left her with someone that, probably will kill her kid. If, you just don't know. It's a stranger.
Abuse the kid, whatever. Anything could have went wrong.
Right.
So she's trifling.
Yeah,
Let's just start with that.
definitely.
Two, as soon as she realized that her kid wasn't with him, she was supposed to get on a plane immediately and come back.
Right.
She should have took that 300 and got a ticket and came back, or changed the ticket and came back to wherever city she's from.
Right.
And then went on ahead and dealt with that. You know what I'm saying? So she continued her vacation apparently.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what? I'll send you 300. I'll be home on in
Right.
about
Look,
4 days.
Thank you for watching him.
Right.
Here's the 300.
But I think this also
Bad parent.
I think this is also very telling because she clearly doesn't care about a kid.
At all.
Poor kid.
Because if you're gonna get on a plane to go on vacation, you want to make sure that you leave your kid with somebody responsible, like your mom, your grandmother.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
If you're going to go on vacation, you better take your kid with you.
I'm just saying. Right? But,
You're stuck with
I mean,
that.
But I mean, if that's the case, right?
Right.
If you want some time, all
right, family member or
right,
somebody,
you leave with a
yeah.
family member, right? Like
Right.
Your mom, your grandma, aunt, or something like that. But if you're gonna leave
Sister,
it,
brother, or something.
yeah, but if you're gonna leave it with a dude, like that, y'all not even together like that.
That says a lot.
Come on, yeah, that.
Yeah, she's a dodo bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
She gets the dodo bird. Who's next?
Okay.
I'm dishing out dodo bird awards today.
Okay. So I'm just bouncing between last week's questions and this week's. But
I'm kind of enjoying this.
this one is I told a friend that my husband didn't know our son wasn't his.
Ooh.
He
Oh, wait,
overheard.
wait. I'm sorry. Go back. Say that. Slow that down. What did you say?
I told a friend that my husband didn't know our son wasn't his. He overheard our conversation and took a DNA test that proved he's not the father. My son ain't his, but he raised him for years. How to convince him to continue to be a father figure? He must be held accountable.
Gary.
Wow.
Fucking dodo birds.
So okay, so
He's got to be held accountable. I'm sorry. Gotta go. I'm sorry. Shit pissed me off.
So when she got
triggered.
pregnant, like how come this dude?
Nah, go ahead.
When she got pregnant, I'm sure she must have told the dude, right? Because I would imagine that.
She told me it was his kid.
But hey, I want a DNA test.
He didn't believe it wasn't his kid.
Right. And why,
Until she overheard a conversation. He overheard a conversation.
I'm just like, if I'm in a relationship with a woman,
Uh-huh.
and if we're in a committed relationship, and I know that she's not dealing with anybody else, and I get her pregnant, then more times than not, I'm probably not going to take it because I know.
Yeah, it's me and you.
Right. But this situation, for him not to know, right? Or to
Yeah.
be put in that situation, like to find out that the kid is not his. Because I mean, if there's any if there's any type of question, he should have been like, look, let's take a DNA test.
Yeah.
Like,
But he didn't know.
He didn't know.
He overheard the conversation.
No.
I mean, and I'm talking about in the beginning, right? Because
He didn't know. He never knew it wasn't his kid.
Right.
Until he heard a conversation.
Overheard it.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in here, and I don't know. It's an opinion
Come on.
that I think should change. I mean, the law should change.
Put
Or
in
there should be-
$10.
There should be something where if a woman says she's pregnant, I think it should be mandatory that a DNA test be taken.
I concur.
I think a DNA test should be taken the moment a woman conceives or they conceive to have a baby, just to make sure. There's so many people that's caught up in the system.
And that
Very
shit.
true.
Like, for example, this husband, they're married, but whatever kid she has his name. So automatically the law will assume that that's his son. And now we find out that he's not his biological father.
Mm-hmm.
They should find that dude. Mm-hmm. And he should be sued for back child support.
But there was a case, I believe it was early on in the week or last week, where there's this mother. So she married this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy, I guess, is a well-off guy. And the guy, I guess he was in love with her. They were married for quite a while. And he adopted her son.
Right.
So I guess after the adoption is done, I guess a year or two later, she divorces him
Okay.
and wants him to pay child support.
That sounds like one of the girls that was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Eva.
Well, he has to.
Yeah, because she married her husband. Her husband adopted her kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, she wants him to be responsible financially.
He is, because he adopted the kid.
Right.
Legally, it's his kid.
Yep.
In this situation, legally, it's unfortunately, in this situation, they're married, right?
Yes.
It's his kid. Doesn't even matter. Legally, they look at it as his kid unless the father steps in and signs papers and says, no, this is not my kid.
Right.
Legally, it is his kid. Now, for accountability, listen, bitch, hold on for 1 second. You need to be accountable for that skanky shit that you did.
Yeah.
That this dude raises. Let's look at the economic and the emotional devastation that happened when this dude found out that this was not his kid. Mm-hmm. You should be held accountable for that.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that's terrible. What you did was terrible. And the reason why it's so terrible is because you already knew that he wasn't that kid's father. And you went with it. Mm-hmm. Then you get busted because you was having a conversation with a girlfriend.
Big mouth, right?
Right, on some dumb shit. Then you get busted. And now you want him to do what? You should be like, you know what? My bad. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you off the hook. I'm going to find his father. I know who his father is or whatever. And we're going to deal with it from that standpoint. Unfortunately, from a legal standpoint, he's jammed.
Yeah.
Unless the dude comes forward or she releases him from that situation.
Yeah,
he's
because the dude
jammed.
would have to come forward and apply for full custody of the kid in order for him to get
paternal,
out of it.
Right? That he's the paternal parent.
Right.
So he would have to take a DNA
Yes,
test.
he would have to actually get the paperwork and
have a DNA test done.
Yeah.
So he's jammed. She's a sucker.
If I were him, I'd find out who this guy is.
Absolutely.
And be like, listen, you're going to have to get full custody of this kid because
Right.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Like, in other words, how hurt is he? You know what I'm saying? That's
And
super
what about the
fucked up.
kid? The kid is believing too.
And now the
So
kid's
she's
fucked
not
up.
just lying to the husband.
Lie to the kid.
She lied to the kid.
The
So now
kid
the kid's fucked up.
The kid is under the assumption that his life is his because that's his dad.
Yeah.
His whole life is a lie, really. Well, half
Absolutely.
Of it.
Absolutely. So he's all fucked up.
Yeah.
That shit is terrible.
Speaking of kids.
So, Robin,
Okay.
when you finish the relationship advice, I got a couple other topics.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, speaking of kids, my fiance's 6-year-old son has criminal imaginary friends.
Oh, this nigga's fucked up.
I overheard an entire conversation about we should burn that nigga in the bed.
Damn.
Imaginary friend, but you might burn mama. Burn him in the car. Fiance says he's traumatized because his dad always set fires. Thoughts?
Wow.
Well, shit. That's a layup.
Gary, what do you say
Wow.
about this?
First of all, he's a pyromaniac. Okay.
So, I guess how young is the kid? That's one. Two, kid using the N word. Yeah, there's a possibility he could be traumatized. So, I would say that mom, dad, they got to go take him to seek counseling. Right? That's would be because something had to happen for him to be acting out like that
And have an imaginary friend
and have an imaginary
that he really talks to.
But most
That talks back.
That talks back.
yeah, but most kids have imaginary friends.
That talks back?
Yes.
Okay.
Most kids have.
I gotta tell you, I didn't. And I spent a considerable amount of time by myself. You know what I'm saying? I actually tried to have an imaginary friend as a kid, and it just felt so stupid. I'm like, this is dumb. Who am I talking to? But I get it. A lot of kids do have imaginary friends.
But I mean, in his case, there's some trauma there, right?
Yeah, because this imaginary friend is giving him advice.
Exactly.
Like, you might burn mama.
You might.
Yeah, hold on.
Like, nah, burn him in the car.
That's what we need to do, bro.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that mom, is this a new husband that she's married to? Right? Because what the kid said, you might burn mama. So either if it's dad that has been abusing him,
Right.
or is it a new husband that the mother is married to?
Right.
Because clearly they don't want to, burn mom.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
his kid's a fucking criminal,
yeah.
bro.
So it is the mom's fiance.
So it's a new. So it's a new.
It's a new guy.
It's a new guy.
And the son has a dad who was already a pyro.
Oh, there
So
you
he
go. Okay.
inherited his
Gotcha,
pyro
gotcha.
from
Okay,
his
gotcha.
dad. However,
Fine.
he's looking
yeah.
to kill someone by burning them to death.
That's a learned behavior.
And to avoid killing mom, they decided, both of them, to burn him in the car. Now, how are
isolate
they
him.
going to find out how to get him in the car to burn him?
Listen, that part of the plan hadn't been mapped out by the imaginary friend, but I'm sure it's on the table.
Oh my God. Okay, I got one more, okay? And
Okay.
that's it. Okay. When my boyfriend and his friend got beaten and robbed,
Ooh, this is good.
I felt lucky they survived. But I read their text messages,
Uh-oh.
and they were drugged and robbed by strippers. They got Cardi B'd.
Ooh, CD.
Both blacked out and then beat each other to create bruises for their alibi. He's a good man. How to forgive him? Advice? Gary.
Well, first off, and I know Rock understands this. That's
Oh,
not
wait
the
a
first
minute,
time
pause.
this.
Oh, okay.
That ain't the first time stuff like that happens. So there's, depending on what area you've been in and this type of strip clubs that you've
Okay.
been to,
Okay.
if
You
you're
get
not,
robbed, yeah.
If you're not aware, they'll get you, right? You ain't got to worry about the dudes outside sticking you up. The strippers in there will get you.
They'll
Right.
drug you.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So she wants to. Is it that she wants to forgive him?
Yeah.
I mean, if she, wow. So it sounds like she was okay. She's okay with him going to the strip club.
I don't know.
I mean, am I hearing?
No. The boyfriend told her that they were beaten and robbed.
Okay.
Like, she would assume by, like, thugs.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So she's like, oh, I'm relieved that he survived the attack.
Right.
And then she finds his text messages where they colluded, he and the friend,
The beat up shit.
Right.
that they colluded to lie because they actually got robbed by strippers. They were drugged and robbed.
And then the question is really, where were they that they got robbed by strippers like that? Because if you're in a strip club, right? If you're in a strip club, that's not first of all, there's so many people around.
True.
That's it's a public thing, right? So you obviously were in a private situation, right? It might have been a little bit more than stripping that was going on, and
Yeah, because they blacked out.
And you blacked out. You didn't black out in the middle of a strip club, and nobody did anything.
So it sounds like they went to a hotel,
Tell us something,
a motel or hotel, and it happened there, right? So they thought that they were going to get some,
Right.
And the strippers got them.
Yeah, they gave him some.
They fucked around and they found out.
Right.
Found out. They gave him some misery.
Okay.
So that's what that sounds like to me. It didn't happen. Here's what I'm saying. It didn't happen in a strip club. That's bullshit. Because if it was in a strip club, it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Right. Management might have kicked in. I don't know, but I'm just saying, there's enough people. Like you're not sitting there throwing dollars, and then someone puts some in your drink, and then you collapse there. Right. That means everybody in the strip club robbed you. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Where are the other patrons? Where's everybody? So
True.
They ended up in a private situation, and it went from being a stripper situation to a prostitution situation, and they didn't get what they wanted.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's easy. That's easy what happened with that.
Okay, that's the last one.
All right, cool.
Before Gary,
Yeah.
Rock, would you read the chat? Is there any
On the
new?
chat, no. Last chat I got is I'm guessing he didn't get down on one knee, which was from the
Okay.
previous thing so far.
Thanks, Karen.
Okay. So the next topic, Black China.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, I want to talk about that. That's
Did a
interesting.
makeover. So
Talking to the mic.
So apparently, Black China. Some of y'all may know her from the Kardashians, and her and Rob Kardashian had a kid.
They had their own show, right?
Yeah, they also had. Yeah, they had their own show. I think her and Tyga had a kid or something.
Yes.
Tiger who?
Tiger, the rapper.
that was on Cash Money.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So apparently, she went through this whole spiritual change, right?
Yeah, she's different now.
Right. So she I think it was last year she started to go through this change. So she went to take out the cosmetic surgery that was on her face, on her butt, and she went to go remove the tattoos. So now, and also what was out there about her is that she made like $200 million on
OnlyFans.
On OnlyFans, which I knew straight up that was a lie.
Right.
So actually, she did a recent Forbes interview where they asked her that, and she's like, "No, it was only about $1 million or so."
That's all, huh?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so but she's going around. It's like she's doing this press tour to talk about her newfound in God, and she was baptized, and
Okay.
she's taking a break from the industry. I'm not buying none of that, and the reason why I'm not buying none of that, there was a big tattoo that she had on her, right, of Baphomet, right?
Oh, the devil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, so, and you mean to tell me the dudes that you were messing with saw you with that tattoo and they didn't have a problem? Now, I'm not a religious crazy guy, but if I'm dating a chick and she got that on her, I'm not fucking, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm walking the dog.
I'm walking away. And it was not, it wasn't like no small tattoo. This was like a huge tattoo.
Right.
So what mentally got you to that point where you, of all tattoos, you want to put Baphomet, a big tattoo of Baphomet on you? And all of a sudden now, after you make a little money, now you found God? I'm not buying that.
You want to hear my point of view?
I do.
She's got a new reality show.
Okay.
I think it's all a ploy to get it caught on camera, like her transformation to getting the fillers and everything removed and finding God, because she is now, because you don't have to tell anyone, just drop, go away. You can figure all that out on your own, but why does she need to make that public?
Sure.
Did someone ask her? No, she volunteered the information because she's rolling out a new reality TV show.
Okay.
And I mean, whatever she made on OnlyFans can actually be made. Look, think about it. Someone could pitch it to her and say, listen, the industry now is full of women getting butt injections and, boobs or whatever. And she's a mom. She said because she's a mom, she don't want her son seeing that. That was number 2.
Wait, listen.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
I'm with this crazy shit.
So
I'm enjoying myself.
I think honestly, she's somebody, I don't know if she and her production team said, listen, how do we, move the needle to get or save lives by, encouraging young women to get this stuff removed from their bodies? She probably had a scare, a little cancer, maybe, I don't know. The HIPAA laws are real, but I think they use that as a platform for a new reality show. The second argument that I'm going to make is about how women, when they're in their youth, or let's just say they're in their 20s, right? And, they still want to play around. Back in the days, women by their 20s were married, but that's dead because now women are making money by selling feet pictures or whatever. Right. So when they get a little fame and they get on social media, because basically that's what it's all about, they don't realize until later when their kid goes to school and the internet is forever and you are trying to be a parent like, oh yeah, well, follow these rules, and that kid's like, nigga, I've seen you take back shots. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. You can't hide it. Once you got that thing out there, you can't run. Right. And your kids are going to watch that. Don't wait until after you have a kid to decide that you need God. That's crazy. Women don't understand the how poor decisions affect them until they have children of their own. And I think they should be held accountable for it. What do you say, Rob?
I think a couple of things. And I'm going to go from a couple of perspectives. One, I wanted to say, so that, she has a sex tape too, by the way. I'm sure there's one floating out there. She does OnlyFans. What was the OnlyFans thing that she was doing?
Yeah, she had complete nude stuff on OnlyFans
right.
too.
Oh, no penetration stuff?
I don't know about penetration, but it was.
But yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that part of the porn industry, I don't really understand it from a standpoint of people make these videos. They make these homemade videos and they put them up on, X Hamster.
Oh, amateur.
Yeah, amateur videos. And they put them up on X Hamster and all these platforms, YouPorn, right? And it's you. And you're not considering the fact that your family members might look at this, or friends, or a job, or no one's going to see you. I never understood that mentality with that. But that's one thing. Second thing, that Baphomet shit, right? A lot of artists, I think they dibble and dabble when they're younger in devil-like activities. I want to put it like that, right? And then
say
dark activities, and then they realize that they're wrong in where they're at and where they're putting their faith and worship, and then they go, you know what? This is not where I want to be. Now, I remember the same thing happened with Run DMC. Run DMC was the same thing. They kind of dabbled in some really dark shit, when they did the Raising Hell album and all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, Run became Reverend Run. And he became religious, like deeply religious all of a sudden. And I think that a lot of times with young artists, especially in our generation and even before, they would do all this dark stuff and get involved in all this dark magic or whatever it is, and then realize that this is the wrong space to be in. And then whatever they've done, they're trying to reverse that, which, salvation's real. And they try to reverse that. And I think that in her worship and where she was at that time, she thought that having Baphomet on her back, on her thigh, or wherever she put it, was a great idea. And I think that in that, if you put that type of tattoo on you, that means that that's who you worship, right? You worship that. And I think, not that I want to say that black magic exists or bad magic exists, but I do know bad energy exists. Mm-hmm. And if you put that on your back, you are inviting bad energy into your life. And I mean real bad energy, real bad. Things that might happen to your kids. Yeah. Just bad stuff. Why would you do that? But when you're young like that, you do dumb shit like that. And then all of a sudden, you turn to religion. And now she's becoming a new person. I wouldn't be surprised if one day we wake up and she's preaching to the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even be surprised at that. So And it probably is a reality show on top of it. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you know what? I'm going to make money on my transformation. But what I do think is I don't think she'll ever go back to that. I don't think she'll ever be the Black China that she was
So,
of her youth. I think she really is transforming.
All right,
That's what I think.
fine. But is her OnlyFans still up?
She took it down.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's out of business.
Yeah.
Like she's really gotten into and I gotta applaud that and hope that she maintains that change. You know what I'm saying? I really do.
And I hope other women who made similar mistakes with enhancing their bodies and putting foreign substances in their bodies. And I don't know what they're doing it for, but okay. But I hope it's somehow convinces these women that they don't need to do that.
it's a total violation of your body, right? When you do these things, you know, first of all, you gotta love yourself and just love who you are, right? Let's start with that. But then when you go with these enhancements that you want to do, you're putting man-made shit in a natural situation that can only be bad for you at the end of the day. I don't even believe in getting an operation unless you really, 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 really have to have an operation.
Yeah, life or death.
Right. I'm not going to elect to do some shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once you open somebody up and expose them to the air, you're exposing them to elements that get sealed up with you. You know what I'm saying? Once you have that first operation, you're going to have more operations. I don't care I don't care if it's you get stents in your heart or hip surgery or knee replacement or whatever it is. Once you do that, and sometimes you have to, I'm not saying no bust, but once you do that, you're going to continue to have problems. It's a quick fix for a minute, but eventually you're going to have problems with it. Like, you know, I know somebody right now, you know, hip went bad. Hip is bad. And sometimes when and he'll have the aches and the pains and the shakes and the shit and all that shit with the new hip that unfortunately he needed.
Wow.
He needed the new hip because his natural hip went bad. And then he's got to replace the other hip. I'm only saying that to say this. Why would you elect to do something that you don't have to do?
True.
Kanye West's mom died because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? She went to have elective surgery and it killed her. Joan Rivers died because of that. She went to have elective surgery and she died on the table.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why you would risk your life to do a body enhancement for somebody else.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing that body enhancement, you're not doing it for you.
Right.
You're doing it so the world will perceive you differently.
Wow.
That's why you're doing it. Because anytime you meet, it's so funny. You meet a woman that got a breast job, right? And off the cuff, they're like, "Go ahead, you want to touch them? Touch them. See how real they feel." You know what I'm saying? And they're very comfortable with it. Like, touch them. See how real they feel. And you're like, yeah, they feel real. Like, wow, because it's a thing for them.
Yeah.
And it is a thing. It's no longer them.
Right. It's a piece of.
It's like picking up headphones.
Yeah.
Right. It's not
an object.
It's not a sexual object.
There's just two objects in her body that she wants people to see.
That it feels natural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why would you do this to yourself? So, you know, I'm glad she's reversing the shit. Okay. And I hope that, you know, some of the women that watch the show that might be considering this shit don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And other women that have done it, take that shit out your body. There's been stories of the silicone leaking into your system, making your system toxic.
Yeah.
Right? You know, making your system septic. Right? Like, why would you do those things? It's the same thing we have these guys that want to do this male enhancement thing. You know what I'm saying? There is no cure for that. Whatever you got is what you got. Your meat is your meat. Right? There's no cure for that. I know somebody, they went down to Brazil and they did some weirdo surgery where they clipped something and then it increased the length of his penis, and then guess what? His shit didn't work no more.
Oh.
So what was the point?
Wow.
Very prominent DJ, by the way. Very prominent DJ. I remember when he went to go do this shit. He came to me, Rock, I'm going to go. And I never even heard of this crazy shit before.
Wow.
And it's something that they do that they release on the inside and it kind of drops you down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I think it worked like for the first like month or something. And then after that, it was flat.
Oh my God.
Nigga was flaccid forever.
Oh, Lord.
You know
like a eunuch.
So right.
With a long piece of skin.
Listen, they might as well just cut it off in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So these, you know, you got to be happy with yourself. You got to be happy with your body. You know what I'm saying? You got to be comfortable in your own skill with these things. And I absolutely positively do not agree with elective surgery.
Yeah.
I just don't. Not enhancement surgery. You know what I'm saying? So we've done the hour and some change. So we can punch out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think next show I would like to get into the Chat GPT,
Yeah.
the Chaos GPT.
Yeah. Let's get into
Yeah.
the AI.
Yeah. The AI.
Yeah, let's do that because I
And,
think that's a big
I
deal.
gotta say now with AI is there. They got people. So there's I guess people who do AI. They got these AI models doing OnlyFans.
Right.
Guy actually, I guess he fell in love, if you will,
Yeah.
or thought this was his girlfriend, and it was an OnlyFans AI that was sending him pictures.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing with the AI is it's so real. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, it's real, right?
this shit-
Because it looks real.
The shit is crazy. That
'Cause I have a couple, yeah.
That LeBron James picture with him in the pink, that's AI,
Right.
right? So that's to tell you like how and so many people ran with it like, oh, LeBron was dressed up in his pink skirt and shirt,
Yeah, and it never happened.
and it was in that.
Well,
that was-
I mean, we have to discuss this because I think your name and likeness are now compromised.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Your entire life is compromised.
Right. With this whole AI thing, and I want to talk about that when we come back on the next show.
Absolutely. They got a record out with Kanye West rapping Kanye's voice, AI rapping Justin Bieber's lyrics.
And Jay-Z too.
Right.
And Jay-Z, yeah.
Right. So that means that if I wanted to write something for Jay-Z, I could write it and then give it to the AI and have Jay-Z's voice rapping my lyrics.
Or
You know what I'm
someone
saying?
could do that to you.
Or someone could do that to me. That shit is criminal.
It's crazy.
Unto itself.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Then my man Legs, he does AI and the work is incredible. Like it's incredible. Like he sent me something and I was like, okay, where's the AI? He was like, the whole shit is AI. Everything. The guy talking is AI. The guy that you see is AI. The people in the background
Didn't
are
he have
AI.
Morgan Freeman's voice?
And he had Morgan Freeman narrating the piece that he was working on.
Yeah, let's talk about that next week. I want to.
Absolutely. We should get that. So listen, man, I'll see you all later. It's good to be back.
Wait, you want to talk about anything coming up?
I don't even know what's coming up. Is anything
Wait,
coming
let
up?
me just give a big shout out
Yeah, go
to
ahead.
Walter and Tina Burks. They're doing their wedding nuptials
Oh.
actually now, right?
Oh, congratulations!
So they tune into our show and watch our show, but I wanted to give them a big
Congratulations.
shout out. So they're doing their nuptials over in Arizona.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so big shout out.
Okay.
You're right. You remind me of something. I got to read some, but go ahead if you haven't.
Go ahead, keep going.
What else? So I know I'm forgetting something, but anyway, I wanted to say that.
Okay.
April 20th. Let me find this.
Go
thing.
ahead. Go ahead. What's happening in
Ronnie
April?
Wright has something coming up too.
Oh, word. Big shout out to Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Big shout out to AIS. They're doing a show right now with DJ Cool Kid.
Yes.
Oh,
Joe
wow.
Ronnie has April 20. Oh shit! Let me get this right.
Okay.
He's doing a photo gallery.
Okay. Well, photo gallery 420 coming up.
Hey, Ronnie, you better have me in them pictures, bro.
Okay. Come on, Ronnie.
You've taken a lot of Sticky in the Hoods pictures over the years.
All right. Okay. So
I'm trying
okay.
If you don't have it, I'll just read Al's thing.
Go.
Go
Big
ahead.
shout to Hip Hop Boulevard. DJ Backspin and Ralphie CBS. They're going to be at the Garden. That's 3392 East Tremont Avenue, April 20th, which is 420.
Right.
For all you weed heads.
Nice.
And that's from 7 to midnight.
Wow.
I believe also, I think Raheem is also on that show, and a couple other people. This flyer I have is an older
We
flyer.
should have them on before the show to promote the event.
They promote the event. Yeah, we'll
I
probably
think that'd be
we
cool.
might work that out for
That would
tomorrow.
have to be like in the next
Like
show.
tomorrow,
Oh yeah, true.
like tomorrow, like something like that.
Okay.
Let me
okay.
just see because Al sent me something,
All right.
and there's one that has Raheem on it,
Okay.
and a couple other people that I think are getting awards that day.
Oh really?
So yeah. So that's
oh,
gonna
this
be
is
really
awesome.
nice.
Go ahead, Gary.
Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, so Ronnie Wright, for those of you who don't know, he's a celebrity photographer. He's a close friend of the show. He's been around for about, 30 years.
Whoa.
Or so. Ronnie has taken pictures of damn near everybody.
Wow.
And I'm not exaggerating, right? So he's doing a photo exhibit, or I should say a photo gallery.
Oh.
It's called The Right Time. and it's April 17th to the 21st, and it's out at 514 Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Right. So,
514 Atlantic Avenue, Brooklyn.
right. 514 Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn. It's April 17th.
Is that tomorrow?
17th to the 21st, and it's the right time.
Okay.
Ronnie Wright.
That's on Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
I keep thinking it's Sunday.
Yeah, today is the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Tax day.
yeah, I told Ronnie
On
that-
Tuesday.
I told Ronnie that I'm going to pass by one of those days to support him, and I said I'm going to tell Rock too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely. So you
Oh,
got some
that's
stick in the hoods
awesome.
pick and stop fucking around.
Okay, so any shows that we should be looking forward to?
Yeah, we're gonna give Al a call tonight. Give Al a call tonight so we can get back on board for tomorrow for Hip Hop Boulevard to do that show, and we'll stream it live. And but I'm taping them too.
Okay.
So I tape it and I'm gonna do little clips during the week or whatever. And I believe we'll be back with Maria on Monday. With that one, I have to work out the logistics because of the time
Yeah.
and what we have going on here. You know what I'm
Because she's
saying?
going to have to promote Mad Wednesdays, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she has
So-
a Mad Wednesday coming up with an artist by the name of Dada Terry. So
Right, and that's this Wednesday coming up,
That's
right?
this Wednesday, the 19th. Yeah.
All right, so we got to get that going, make sure that that's cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, listen, man, it's peace, love, and hair grease for me.
You know how we
All right, it's a good show. Glad to be back. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to everybody else. Big shout out to DOA and Jeff and Rocky D and all the past hosts that we had on. You know what I'm saying? So
Wait, before you punch out.
and Renee.
and Renee Mickens.
Oh, yeah.
Mickens.
Shout
Who, by
out
the
to
way,
Renee.
Renee, you
Yes.
should come sit in sometime.
Hello.
Renee, you see, you heard Rock say it, right? I keep telling you now. You heard Rock say
Yeah.
it.
Come sit in
She's
sometimes.
family.
I like having four people at the table. That's
Yeah.
number one.
You
And
were
another
staring at the
girl,
wall.
right? Yeah, another girl would actually level it out. Another
Yeah.
woman sitting at the table.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for even staying with us this long.
Wow.
And we want to hit the algorithm too, right? So
Right.
like and subscribe to the show.
Please do.
I
Yeah.
think that there was some birthdays. So there was Tasha's birthday.
Well, yeah, that
Oh,
was
yes,
March.
that's
March.
right.
Yeah, that was March
But
27th.
we weren't on. So
Right.
there was
Lays
Tasha-
has a birthday coming up.
Baba T's birthday.
Fame had a birthday on the 9th.
LG had a birthday, right?
Yeah.
Nah, that was in February.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
how long we've been gone.
No, matter of fact, LG's birthday is in January. Him and my
Dang.
brother, their
Oh,
birthdays
right.
a day apart.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ronnie Wright, his birthday.
it's coming up, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lay's birthday is 4/21. Fame's birthday is 4/9.
Okay. That passed.
Tasha was March 27th.
And Bobby T was
Legs
the same day.
was March 27th. Baba T was March 27th. We had a good time in Atlantic City with Legs, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
that's right.
okay.
Well,
That
happy
was nice.
belated to all those who had
everybody.
birthdays before today.
Yep.
And happy birthday to all those who's coming up.
Word up, so I can punch out.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, hit the like button, though.
Yeah,
we'll
hit the
see
like
y'all
button and
next week.
subscribe.
Hit the
Absolutely.
likes.
We're back in effect. We're having a good time. Everything's everything. You know what I'm saying? And we will definitely catch you next week. And I'm gonna ride this out with let me see. Let me do.
All because
Now you know what? I think I want to hear this one. Yeah, I want to hear this record. Yeah, I like this record. Big shout out to my man DJ Chinks.
Chinks.
Big shout out to Shawnee Whitington.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I love this song. Peace. We love y'all.
Bye.
Now I'ma go and tell you this up off the rip. I be in my zone like I gotta make it flip. I'm feeling the energy, could tell your vibe is off. But it's okay cause I'm lit, I'm hot, I'm putting on. Now I'ma go and tell you this up off the rip. I be in my zone like I gotta make it flip. I'm feeling the energy, could tell your vibe is off. But it's okay cause I'm lit, I'm hot, I'm putting on. Now you can tell me I'm not lit. Every time that we alone, you just want me to hit. All that in a bag of chips, you be my honey dip. Everything I have, we gon' split. But you changing up like the weather, it's never for the better. Even when you cold, baby, I'ma be your sweater. You're my Aaliyah, so I'm writing you this letter. I'm just trying to make you see that we stronger together. Stuck on you like leather, soul ties like we tethered. Ask me what I want you for, I'ma tell you forever. We gon' do it or we not, it's now or never. I ain't gonna chase you, I'm too busy chasing cheddar. Now I'ma go and tell you this up off the rip. I be in my zone like I gotta make it flip. I'm feeling the energy, could tell your vibe is off. But it's okay cause I'm lit, I'm hot, I'm putting on. Now I'ma go and tell you this up off the rip. I be in my zone like I gotta make it flip. I'm feeling the energy, could tell your vibe is off. But it's okay cause I'm lit, I'm hot, I'm putting on.
You got me keeping my distance. You stay quiet and resistant. Whenever I speak,
You don't listen, who don't pique your interest? When you come home, you act different. This is what it is, just keeping it real.